What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the Waiver Wire. I'm Money Mike. I'm here with my guy Marco Nunez from former head athletic trainer of the Los Angeles Lakers and runs now Evolve Athletic. Marco, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm sorry I'm not there again. A little bit on the road, trying to work
Yeah.
out. But yeah, but we're
Hey,
all
we
good.
get it. Yeah, we get it. We all good. You got to be where they call you. Hey, so look, this is a week 7, man. We're all ready.
Ooh.
This is really kind of like a make and break, in the season of fantasy football because literally, trade deadlines are coming up in the next couple of weeks, and man, like if you're out in the next couple of weeks, you might gotta drop somebody to be replaced, to those teams where you're fighting for a playoff spot. So this stuff is getting critical. What do you think?
No, 100%. And the trades are happening. At least one of them, the one major one that happened where I think you talked about, or you talking about, McCaffrey went over to the Niners, and that opened up a whole window for two other running backs um, that you can open up and you can pick up on the waiver wire. And I'm sure I think those players, football players, were not on anybody's roster whatsoever, not even as a backup type of thing, or at least a very very low percentage. But yeah. But you're right. We're in week 7. You're either 3-4, 4-3, something of that sort, and you're kind of trying to battle for that last spot of the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I have we're gonna talk about it a little later on, but I got a pick of a weekend. Only 4% of the people have
Uh-oh.
have him on their team. So we're gonna get into that. But let's talk about today. Let's start off with Brees Hall, man. His injury on his knee. How did he walk out? That's what we're learning
Well,
nowadays is how they walk out the stadium, right?
correct, 100%. So we're working with athletes, and whenever doing type of rehab or injury, the first thing you want to see is if they can either walk off the field by themselves. If they're carted off the field, that's not a good sign, or it may be a precautionary thing. But if they can walk off on their own, that's a good sign. But even having said that, with Brees Hall, very similar to what happened with Jamonte Williams with the Denver Broncos, the Jets are fearing that he has worst case scenario, that they suspect that he has an ACL tear. That if that's the case, he's pretty much out for the rest of the year. Next man up, but the MRIs will kind of confirm that either tomorrow or Tuesday. But that is what they're suspecting.
All right, so look like starting tomorrow after we confirm it, we gotta drop him, find somebody to get.
Correct. Once it's officially done, I mean, and the great thing is that Brees Hall has been playing well. I think he was like the number
He
four, number
has.
five running back. He had a
Look,
great run today. He had a 65-yarder touchdown. The Jets are playing well, and he was a great rookie pickup if you drafted him or even if you picked him up. But now you got to go grab the next person, which I think I don't know if we're gonna get into the waiver wire pickers. I'll leave this one for towards the end.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he was on one of my fantasy league, and of course, it's all bad. but I hate this time for me because this is when you kind of start giving up, and be like, why do I even play fantasy football? But anyway, DK Metcalf, what do we think about him? How did he
Yeah.
walk out?
See, that's the thing is that he didn't get to have a opportunity to walk out. He was actually carted off the field with a knee injury. So again, that's another little issue. Now again, we can't always jump to conclusions because oftentimes the sports medicine staff are going to be kind of precautionary and they'll probably card him off. You always want to kind of assume worst case scenario, card him up just to be on the safe side. But the issue is that he did not return to the game. Most likely they'll do an MRI tomorrow or Tuesday and kind of find out, see what's going on. And at that point, then we'll be able to determine the timeline as far as for his injury.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, we definitely have to see. Let's talk about Chuba Hubbard, running back for the Carolina Panthers. And what's funny about that is, wasn't he replacing McCaffrey?
Yeah, so exactly. So that's the thing about it. So like we touched upon it earlier. McCaffrey got traded to the San Francisco 49ers. I think the Panthers just got draft picks. They didn't even get a running back. I mean, there was Jeff Wilson over what they could probably trade it off for him. They had the rookie over there, but they didn't get any running back. So basically, that opened up the window for Chuba Hubbard and Deontay Foreman. And I think they were somewhat of a committee for this first game. But I think if I looked at the numbers, Deontay Foreman ran for like 118 yards, stuff like that. So the issue is that if you I think everybody either grab Chuba Hubbard from all my friends that I know, either you grab Chuba Hubbard or you grab Deontay Foreman. In this case, depending on the ankle sprain, if you grab Deontay Foreman, you're probably in a good spot right now. But if you grab Chuba Hubbard, we have to see what's going to be happening with the ankle. So bottom line, they're going to probably do an MRI Monday or Tuesday, and then we'll probably be able to see what's going on with him.
Yeah, so we don't know with him, and I guess the same thing as with Dalton Schultz. I mean, that guy cannot stay off the injury list, huh?
Correct. Yes. Well, so Dalton Schultz stayed in the game, and from my understanding, the reports out there, he remember he had a PCL sprain
Right.
a couple of weeks ago. He's able to play. Now, this is going to happen throughout the season. He may tweak it. He may have a little bit of an aggravation. It may swell up a little bit. He may have some soreness. So it may be one of those kind of things. Hey, we're just going to get you through the season and be able to survive, and we'll see if we make it to the playoffs and eventually a Super Bowl. So apparently, he kind of tweaked the knee, or he aggravated. So it's just a matter of waiting to see how bad he aggravated it. Whether he's going to play for week 8 or not, or he may take week 8 off, but then he'll be back week 9 type of thing. I don't expect him to be out for the rest of the year. It just, he may be out for a game or so.
All right, so we're just gonna keep him on the roster for those of you guys that have him.
No,
yeah, absolutely. So St. Brown, he got a concussion. We understand that with the whole and then Tua came out and said what he could not remember, which I kind of think, in my opinion, kind of adds insult to injury to this whole concussion thing. But they did not change it. But I would assume that they're probably not going to allow him to, concussion protocol says that they would, that there's a possibility, but I would say probably not. What do you think?
As far as what? As far as him
about him being able to come next week? Okay, he has a concussion.
Correct. So we'll see what's going to happen. Obviously, with what happened with Tua, the NFL, every team, every sports medicine staff, they're being super, super conservative when a player gets concussion. Where before Tua, if they got a concussion, they probably looked a little bit the other way, kind of thing. Hey, let's just get you out there, type of thing. And I think that's what probably happened with Tua, and that's when like you talked about it. If he wouldn't have gotten the second concussion, we probably wouldn't be even talking about it. Everything would have been for the same type of thing. But because he did, that opened up a whole, like I said, a whole can of worms. Now everybody's aware of it. Everybody's like super conservative being up that part. So there's a 50-50 chance. But then, like I mentioned before, the NFL concussion protocol usually lasts on average between 5 to 7 days. That means that if everything goes according to plan, your symptoms go away pretty quick, all that stuff. If everything goes great, then 5 to 7 days. So there is a slight chance he could potentially play. For some, same thing. What happens with Pickett, the quarterback with the Pittsburgh Steelers? He had a concussion last Sunday. He was able to play today because everything went fine. So it's probably 50-50. Just a matter of waiting to see how he does throughout the week.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see. Let's talk about Alan Lazard. He had a shoulder injury.
Yeah, so Alan Lazard, wide receiver with the Green Bay Packers. This just gets worse for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I mean, he doesn't have a receiver to throw the ball to. The other receiver that he kind of trusted, which was Randall Cobb, he has a high ankle sprain, so he's out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
His second one that he kind of trusts is Alan Lazard. Now he also has a shoulder injury. He did not return. So they're going to do an MRI to kind of determine, see what's going on. So there's potential he may be out for a week or so, depending on what the result of the injury is. So now he's surrounded by pretty much a bunch of rookies. He's got Dobbs, he's got Watkins, stuff like that. And I think they take on the Buffalo Bills next week. So good luck to the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, we're going to see, because the Bills will be coming up for bye too. So that really is interesting. And the only reason why I know that is because I have Josh Allen as my quarterback. I had to find somebody to replace him
for this week.
Yeah, for this week. Yeah. Let's go into Mike Williams with his ankle.
Yeah, so Mike Williams, just when Keenan Allen finally returns to the San Diego Chargers, and hopefully they have, their number 1 and number 2 receivers, Mike Williams left the game this week with an ankle injury. They still haven't disclosed whether it's a high ankle sprain, a first degree or second degree. Obviously, they're going to go ahead and do an MRI either tomorrow, no later than Tuesday, and then be able to kind of determine, hey, okay, he's a first degree sprain, second degree sprain, and then we'll be able to determine the timeline as far as for his returning. But either way, if he has unless it's a mild, but even then, if it was a mild ankle sprain, they probably would have taped it up and he would probably gone back. The fact that he did not return to the game tells me that it was a significant enough that he did not feel comfortable putting weight on it or running around on it or anything of that sort. So it's just a matter of waiting and seeing it. I mean, it's probably 50-50 chance that he'll probably play next week.
Yeah, I hope they actually get more information because I mean, with our guy with the hamstring, we thought he was gonna come back like the next week, and he ended up being out, about 4 weeks. So it's unfortunate if they don't really disclose if it's high ankle sprain or things like that. It's kind of hard to judge for us fantasy football,
Mhm.
enthusiasts, right?
No, yeah, you're right, and that's the most difficult thing about it. And as far as kind of determining, see what's going on, and as far as for me being in the sports medicine world, kind of reading between the lines, understanding, hey, what's going on, type of thing. Like I know when, for example, when Keenan Allen kind of went out the game and he was injured with the hamstring strain, and then they said, hey, he'll be back, he's fine, there's not a big thing. And I think we did a post on the Waiver Wire podcast, and I said he was very light. He was there was very little chances he was going to play on Thursday, and I think Thursday morning they came out. It's like, yeah, he's not playing. I'm like, no doubt for my end,
Yeah,
but yeah, for others, it kind of drives everybody crazy.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Ryan Tannehill, he messed up his foot, his ankle. Do we have any more specifics on that?
No, not yet. But this is the interesting part about it. So, like you mentioned, did he walk out the arena, the stadium, on his own will? He did, but unfortunately, he was wearing a boot on that
Oh,
part. So that tells me that there was something going on that they didn't want to allow him to put full weight bearing on it. Now they didn't disclose whether it was the ankle or the foot. I heard one report ankle, I heard one report foot type of thing. But the fact that he was wearing a boot, it's not a good sign. So it's just a matter of waiting and see. They'll probably do an MRI and see what happens with them.
all right. So Russell Wilson, look, I dropped him two weeks ago because of his performance, but
Who?
somebody still may have him.
Who?
Russell Wilson.
I had him. I had him
Yes.
three. I had him 3 of my leagues for some reason. I drank the Kool Aid, um, and I figured he was gonna have like this great season. I dropped him in every freaking league that I have, type of thing. But
Right. Yeah,
so
but for those of you that still have him, he has a
still have
hamstring injury. Is he
correct.
coming back? What do you think?
So he had a hamstring injury. The reports were that he wanted to play, and that the coach said, "No, we're not going to play you," type of thing. Oftentimes, I read what that reading between the lines is that they pretty much were trying to save Russell Wilson or save the athlete from, not playing and probably getting more criticism because he's already. I mean, they're ready to throw him into the fire over in Denver, type of thing. So I guess they were trying to help him out. But it's a matter of waiting to see how he does and he performs throughout the week and if he comes back. If it's a mild hamstring strain, I expect him to come back for week 8. If we're looking for more second degree, we're probably looking for another 2 to 4 weeks. Probably not return until like week 10 or week 11 type of thing. But that's if you still have him on your roster. If you
Yeah,
do, I just drop him.
right. Yeah, he's definitely going through it because I mean they're pointing out all the stuff that people are missing. I mean that all the players that he's missing, like this could have been a touchdown. It's all over social media.
Yep.
What all the bad plays that he's been making over there in Denver. So they're not
Yeah.
too happy with them.
Yeah, what we're gonna, I think we skipped over same thing with the Denver Broncos. Mike Boone, the running back with the Denver Broncos, also left the
Hmm.
game with an ankle sprain up at number 4.
Right.
They're going to do an MRI. Now, that's also interesting because Melvin Gordon is supposedly, quote unquote, is their lead running back, but they also signed Latavius Murray about a week ago, type of thing. And I
Yeah.
know the Denver Broncos are not happy with Melvin Gordon. They're, they don't trust him.
Look, I mean either. He had a -2 a couple of weeks ago, and I stuck with him, and then he had
Yeah.
a .50. So I'm like, oh,
I,
you're killing me
I
here.
have now. Once we get to the waiver wire pickups, there's a running back with the Denver Broncos. Now that Mike Boone is, if he's out for some period of time, Melvin Gordon is not going to be the guy. There's somebody else in there they brought in. If he's still available, we'll talk about it as far as the waiver wire pickups. But he should be highlighted. I know I grabbed him to my leagues.
Yeah, let's go back in. Let's go over into the updates and talk about Marquise Brown.
Yeah. So the interesting part about Marquise Brown is that they initially they suspected the foot injury was going to pretty much take him out for the rest of the year. So now new reports are saying that it may not be for the rest of the year. I think they're going to put him on IR and he should be back in about five weeks. So if you do have Marquise Brown, hopefully you did not drop him yet. Just keep him. If you have a spot for an IR, probably slide him down there. But keep him in there. So in other words, they suspect that he's going to be able to return this year. This year.
All right, so we're going back into we touched on it a little bit earlier. Randall Cobb, we're gonna go ahead and drop him because by the time he comes back, we'll be into the playoffs, right?
Exactly. By the time once he comes back, if you're at 5-1 right now, I think you're okay. You could probably keep him. But if you're 1-5 right now, yeah, there's no need for you to have Rondo Cobb because right now you're in a survivor mode and you need players that are going to be on the field.
Yeah. So James Conner, I've been holding on to him. He was doing really pretty good. His ribs. What's going on?
Yeah, so that's the thing about it. When you have a rib contusion or rib fracture or anything of that sort, the ribs are very, very sensitive. It's something we've talked about. As a bruise in any other part of the body, you can let's just put a pad over it, you suck it up, and you kind of find whether it's like over your quad or over your elbow or anything like that. But in the ribs, it's very sensitive. Just breathing alone gives you discomfort. You can't sleep on it. Now, being a running back, that you have to hold the ball in that area. You get the odds of you getting hit in the ribs are pretty much 100% chance. Within the first couple times, and it can create more pain. It can create more injury. It could be out. So, I think for precautionary reasons, they kept them out now. And Benjamin, if you picked him up, he had a great game on Thursday. So now the question is, even if you have James Conner, when James Conner comes back, is there going to be now a committee?
Doing commercial. Yeah. I know. Like I said, it's really hard. We got to figure this stuff out because it's just I'm expressing my own frustration in all this because like I said, I have them, and running backs are so hard late in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he'll be able to come back. Hey, so we're gonna go ahead and go take a couple commercials, and then we're gonna finish up on updates.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Renee Starms of the Starms Agency. Do you know why 97% of startups fail? It's because they don't have the proper exposure. So for the first time ever, Infinity Studios and the Starms Agency have come together to provide you with the Little Guys Big Marketing Package. Now, this is for local Los Angeles businesses who are ready to launch, relaunch, or simply expose their business to grow. With this package, you're going to receive 6 months of online and offline marketing tactics in a customized plan for your business. You're also going to get a professional TV quality commercial filmed in an 1,800 square foot studio with multiple screening options. So if you're ready to grow, go ahead and click that link. We also have financing available. I'm looking forward to chat with you. Click the link and let's go.
Hey, welcome back, you guys. We're going to stay with the Arizona Cardinals with Darrell Williams with the knee. How did he walk out? How did Darrell walk out with his knee?
So Darrell injured his knee, I think week 6 or week 5 of the NFL league. Obviously, he didn't play this upcoming weekend. I don't think he practiced much throughout the week type of thing. So we're going to have to kind of just wait and see how he does for the upcoming week. I expect probably James Conner to return a little bit sooner. I expect James Conner to actually probably play in week 8. So you have James Conner, but like I mentioned, Eno Benjamin played great. Question is, are they going to ease James Conner in there because Benjamin played great and there's no urgency for him, or are they going to create a committee up there? And also when Darrell Williams returns as well, so you got a 3-headed monster there now.
Yeah, we're going to definitely have to see. Let's go over to Tennessee with Treylon Burks, the wide receiver. He has a turf toe. That's one of those things that could keep you out for a while. Should we drop him or we keep him?
Well, here's the thing. If you're 1-5 or you're 2-4 right now, you definitely want to drop him and get a receiver that you need. But if you're sitting pretty at 5-1 spot type of thing right now, you may want to keep him. I mean, he was doing well when he was playing out there. He was their number one receiver with the Tennessee Titans. Like you mentioned, he has a turf toe, and turf toes can be nagging. So even though they placed him on the IR 2 weeks ago, IR you're on there for about 4 weeks. Turf toes can linger and they can be very comfortable and painful. They can last anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks. So the question is, if they take him off IR, then he should be ready to go. But keep an eye on him. If he doesn't, then there's no need for him.
All right, let's go to my. Look, I just hate it when I have the players on my team, and I have that O right beside it. Man, is Jahan coming back next week with this hamstring?
Well,
Probably
yeah. Well, we'll wait and see. But yeah, I mean, he's been out already for about 2 weeks. So even if he has a second degree hamstring, again, haven't officially disclosed what it was, then probably odds that he's not going to come back week 8. Expect him to come back week 9. If it's a first degree hamstring, he should be back week 9. But it's just a matter of waiting to see how he practices throughout the week.
All right, DeAndre Smith. What's going on with him?
Well, see, this is again was an interesting one. My brother has him on the league. Now, I think they officially put him out early today. So if you weren't paying attention, everything was saying that he was going to come back for week 7. He was going to play. The coach is like, hey, let's give him 2 weeks off. But it was a late second scratch or late minute scratch type of thing. So that was kind of interesting on that part. So he's still kind of dealing with the injury. It's just a matter of waiting to see how he performs throughout the week if he practices, and then we might be ready for week 8.
All right. Well, look, that's all we have with the injuries today. So we're gonna go to the pick of the week. Marco, do you have one? I have a real sleeper.
All right. You know what? I have a couple. Now, the first obvious. I'm gonna give you the first obvious one. I have 2 sleepers, but I'm gonna let you go first on your sleeper. Now, the first obvious ones, unless he's still available, Michael Carter, running back with the Jets, it's going to be the next man now because of Breece Hall. So, but odds are that Michael Carter may not be available. And then the next one that I probably recommend right now would be Latavius Murray as well, with Mike Boone being out. And then, like I said, they're not happy with Melvin Gordon. I expect Latavius Murray to become the number 1 spot and kind of take over in the part. But I do have a sleeper, but I want to hear what yours is first.
Hey, my sleeper is Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell, he's a wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. He came in with the injuries over in wide receiver, and now he's had 2 back-to-back good weeks. I mean, and he's been targeted. I find that anytime someone's getting targeted over 10 times, multiple weeks, and he's out there been performing. He did it last week, and he also did it this week as well. So if listen, he's in 4% of the lead. So I'm telling you right now, if my sleeper is Paris Campbell for the Indianapolis Colts, I don't think anybody has him. Who's yours?
So I think I have a deeper sleeper here. The part.
Have you ever heard of Paris Campbell at all?
I've heard of Paris Campbell. Yeah, he was actually he was with the team last year at the same time. I think he kind of did a little well. But yeah, I agree with you. Every time I look at somebody that I'm kind of either picking up on the waiver wire, I'm not looking at how many catches they had. I'm looking at how many targets, because that tells you the quarterback is looking for them. So you're right. If a player has more, like either double-digit targets, that's what I'm getting. Even if he has only like 1 catch or 2 catches, doesn't matter. That means that tells me that the quarterback's looking his way, and that's who you want.
Right.
You don't want a receiver that's like four catches for 4 targets. You want that one that has may have like 2 catches, but for like 12 targets. Because so my sleeper that I'm looking at right now is Kyren Williams, running back.
Go ahead.
With the LA Rams. Now, from all the reports I've heard is that Mike McShay loves this kid. He loves this guy. Akers is pretty much on the way out. They're trying to get rid of him. Even if they don't trade him, he's going to probably ride the bench. And Henderson, he's doing okay. He's not doing great, so they need a running back. I know they tried trading for McCaffrey, but they couldn't get him. So Kyren Williams, if they're on bye, if you have a spot, you're looking for a running back, he's still on IR, but he's going to be coming off IR. Now, if you're like 5-1 or 4-2 and you got spot, that might be your guy. But if you're 1-5, you can't wait for him.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, you know what? That's it with the Waiver Wire today. I want you guys to follow us on Instagram, Waiver Wire Pod. Also TikTok, Waiver Wire Pod. And we'll see you guys next week. Marco, thanks a lot for all the injury reports.
No problem. Make sure you guys follow us on Money Mike mentioned. Follow us on Waiver Wire, Instagram Waiver Wire podcast for the daily reports on Mondays and Tuesdays as these MRI reports come out, so you guys can stay updated.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. All right, Marco, we'll talk to you soon. See you in studio next week.
I'll be there for sure.
All right, brother. All right.
Bye.